Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Toludialogues. If this is your first time here, welcome again. This is Toludialogues, a community where entrepreneurs are inspired and encouraged to know they're not alone. We started this as a platform to tell stories and become a hub of knowledge and connection for entrepreneurs all over the world. It is a movement to inspire, empower, and elevate. Welcome again. So, we're already halfway into the year, and summer is here already. And for many people, this season brings reflection. It brings reflection in terms of some people are thinking and asking themselves, am I where I need to be? Am I where I thought I would be by now as well? Shall I start all over again? Can I still build? Can I still build something meaningful after so many changes? And honestly, building a business, building a family, building a new life, especially in an unfamiliar environment, is not always easy. Sometimes the journey looks exciting on the outside, but behind the scenes, it takes a lot. It takes resilience, sacrifice, courage, and starting again more times than people realize. And that's why today's conversation matters. Today's episode is called I Built It Anyway. Because sometimes you build while adjusting, and sometimes you build while doubting, like you're really doubting yourself. And sometimes you build before you even feel fully ready. So, today I'm joined by an amazing, incredible woman, also a friend, whose journey reflects exactly that. Banke Oki-Balogun. Thank you, Banke, for being here today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Banke. Banke is an educator, an entrepreneur, and the founder of Naijatutors Konnect, a global tutoring platform connecting exceptional Nigerian tutors with families around the world. But beyond the titles and the achievements, our story is one many people will relate to, from banking to education, from Nigeria to Canada to the UK, from career transitioning to building a mission-driven business. So Banke saw a gap and saw a need and chose to build anyway. And through that journey, she's helping children thrive academically while also changing the global perception of Nigerian educators. That is powerful. So today, we're talking about rebuilding in new environment. We're talking about navigating identity and ambition, balancing motherhood and purpose, overcoming doubts, and what it really takes to keep showing up consistently. If you've ever had a start over, if you've ever questioned yourself, or if you're currently building something while figuring life out in real time, this conversation is for you. Okay? So welcome again, Banke, to Toludialogues.
Thanks, Tolu.
All the way from the UK, I must say, all the way from the UK. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So how you feeling?
Pressure.
No pressure here. No pressure. Just, let's enjoy the moment.
Right.
I'm very, very proud of you, I must say. Reading your bio, just like, I know her. She's not just someone I see online. I do know her. So I'm just going to jump right into the questions.
Okay.
And then I'm sure everyone will be able to hear your story and be inspired. I'm sure they'll be inspired.
For sure.
So you had a successful career in banking before transitioning into education. Was there a defining moment where you realized this work is what I'm truly called to do, what you're doing now?
I don't know about the word successful career in banking, but I'll take it. So I think even before I joined banking, I already knew that I had some passion for education. But you go to school in Nigeria, you finish your NYSC, and you need to get a job. At that point, I wasn't thinking I want to be a teacher. So the first job interview I went for was in GTB.
Okay.
And I went and I got the job. I'm not going to say, there's a passion. No, I didn't follow my passion at the time. I just needed a job. And so I was in the job. I was in GTB for almost 10 years. But at different times in that career journey, I had moments of reflection, and I was thinking, shouldn't I be doing something else? Should I be doing something else? So all of that is what transitioned me from, okay, it's time to do another master's. So I just left banking, and initially I studied a master's in public administration because, believe you me, I actually wanted to be the Minister of Education in Nigeria.
Well, do you know what? We are going there. We are voting for you. If you're watching, this is a minister, and you see why she's a minister in a bit.
So I was thinking, okay, do an MPA, not an MBA, because I wanted to effect change, and I thought the best way to do that was to do an MPA instead of MBA. So I did that for 1 year, and then I decided, I don't know enough about education. And I did a second master's in Institute of Education in University College London. Then I did a second master's in Education and International Development. And then I knew, I was ready. Now, bear in mind, when I was in the UK doing my master's, I set up a learning center called Brains and Child.
Okay.
And it flopped. So I hired the center, got teachers, and I couldn't feel it. And then I closed it down. And that's how my journey to Canada started. So again, to your question, at what point did I know? It's always been there. There was no really a defining moment where I knew. I just knew that the yearnings were, it was there. And I needed to prepare. So what I did was I went to school to sharpen my skills so that when the opportunity and the skills met, I would be ready to start. And that's exactly what I did.
So that's beautiful. I'm going to talk about the Brains and Child.
Okay, the
flopped one. Because that's very powerful.
Yeah.
But there's something that I said that resonated with me here. Because I know in reading your bio, you come from a family of educators.
Yeah.
So talking about the yearning, could that mean maybe seeing I think you did say your grandma and everyone
yes.
could that have also kind of shaped your mind in terms of impacting people? And maybe that's why there was no real defining moment. And even when that flop happened, you knew it's just a stepping stone. I'm going to the next level because you had that belief and faith that kept you on. Could that?
I don't know. Maybe you are inside my mind, but you're right, actually. Because I grew up in a family of educators. My grandparents had a school. My parents have a school. In fact, when my parents were going to start their school, they used the remnants of my grandparents' school to start theirs. Every holiday in Nigeria was spent with me and my siblings in class teaching. As when I was 14, I was teaching. My parents didn't hear I want to travel to the UK for holiday somehow. Every holiday we were in school, we were teaching. So that created the yearning inside of me. So I have to admit that a piece of that really came from where I came from. And then when I started the Brains and Child, when it flopped, to me, it wasn't like, my dream died. It was like...
that was what I wanted to honor. So
the
it's not
dream
like...
was there.
That failed, but you didn't fail.
I didn't fail.
It was that project that failed, but it doesn't take away from who you are and what you believe.
No, I wrote so many proposals on different versions of education. Like, there was one... I had another vision of my tutor and I, where I brought all Nigerian teachers into one bucket. And we now, sold them to elevate the Nigerian tutors. I didn't go far with that as well. So I had many different versions of my dream, my tutor and I, Brains and Child. Each of them flopped in different ways, but my dream never died. It stayed with me. So by the time I was going to start Niger Tutors, I already mastered the act of failing. Now I was ready to fly.
And you've done really well. And I'm really proud of you. And
thank you.
For anyone watching, I think for me, 2 things I'm taking from this. Even when it flops, that big one, you're like, I'm not good at that. No, that's not it. That project failed, but not you as a person or the dream or the passion that you have. And the fact that you went to school to, because at times I feel like we just go, okay, I'd say just do it anyway. Yes, you do it anyway because you were doing it anyway, but you were still kind of getting the right skill that you needed to execute appropriately.
So let me say something about going to school. A lot of people always think, hey, what's the point? You go to school. I studied marine biology as my first
I know, that's how we met. We studied marine biology together.
So when I did marine biology, guess what? I never planned to be a fisherwoman.
Come on, don't say it like that.
No, but I did not.
Because my cousins always tease me. They're like, marine biology, what's that?
Exactly.
Actually, it can be like
but not in Nigeria.
Like environmental impact assessment, like making sure the ocean is fine and the creatures.
No problem. But the truth is, a lot of us were given that course to do, not necessarily because we wanted to. But the thing about education is, without that BSc, right? Queen Mary, that's the university that I did my MPA with, would never have given me a slot in their MPA program. So because I finished my BSc with a upper class, second class upper, they gave me a spot. So without that marine biology certification, I could never have done my master's in public administration. And guess what? When I did my MPA, I had a distinction. Without that MPA, I could not have been given the slot to do the master's in education. So sometimes you do these courses not necessarily because you intend to work with it, but these certificates are the keys that open the door. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm enjoying this
conversation. You are? Okay, I'm glad.
Okay, I'm going to go to the next question.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is for a lot of people, because as we all know, in Canada, a lot of people have moved into Canada. We're all like first or second generation immigrants. So moving to a new country changes so much in terms of your identity, your confidence, and even priorities. What were some of the hardest emotional adjustments that you faced while rebuilding your life and career here in Canada and the UK?
That's a deeply personal question, because when I landed in Canada, I'm not going to lie, I had everything all set up for me. My brother-in-law was here. So I landed into a fully established setup. So I wouldn't really say I had challenges. In fact, I got a job within my first 3 months in a bank, CIBC actually. So I wouldn't really say, but the only thing that I struggled with was the family breakdown. The fact that I lost my family in the process. Because when you relocate, you're separated from your parents, from your siblings. It takes an emotional toll on you. So in the past, where I'm feeling down, I can go to my mom's house, we can gist, but then you relocate to a country, not 6 hours away, like almost 12 hours away. It takes an emotional toll on you, and that's one of the biggest challenges that I faced when I got to Canada. So I realized that I needed a community, because when you've lost one community, the next focus will now be, how do I build a new community for myself, for my family? So I would say that was the only challenge that I actually faced when I got to Canada.
And the UK?
UK is a different ballgame, because now I got Canada is very big on community. UK maybe not so much. And so when I relocated from Canada again back to Nigeria to the UK, it was a struggle because the community thing was kind of missing. But I would say that another challenge that I did have was my children. When you move countries, they also have to move with you. It's not a choice that they make. They just follow you because you are the parents, right? And they come in here, they have to learn a new system, they have to learn a new curriculum, even the way they relate with their friends in school, all of that changes. So when you watch them sometimes struggle in school, it affects you and you're like, hey, I'm the one putting them through this. When I moved to the UK from Canada, believe it or not, my daughter's friends or classmates used to make fun of her because of her Canadian accent. So you would think that it's only the Nigerian, yes, you would think that it's only the Nigerian accent that they know. When she moved to the UK, the Canadian accents, they used to mimic her. And, it sort of affected her. So I can tell you, these kids go through a lot. So it's as part of my mission is, how do we support these kids better? Because we know that this change not only affects us, the adults, it also affects the children in more ways than you would know. And, a lot of us, we just think, hey, they're kids, but they have their own wants, their emotions, their psychological state. So we have to be mindful that in the transition process, there are things that they're also struggling with. And that's one thing that I did realize that was a gap for Nigerians in the diaspora, especially for those that just relocated.
Yeah. And one of the ways to do that is, apart from building the community, like you said, is also paying attention.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because if your child doesn't come to tell you, you may not know. But I guess also is also as parents taking ownership to
ownership, you know, the truth is paying attention, you have your own struggle. You're still trying to figure yourself out. You're not necessarily looking at them and say, okay, what's your own struggle? Because you're still trying to figure yourself out. So it's just a call to say, just remember that as you're figuring yourself out, the children also need help. So like you said, maybe pay a little more attention and recognize that they also have their own challenges as well.
So thank you very much for that. And I do agree, like, we need to actually focus on the kids, because it's something that even as adults, as we're struggling, we're focusing on our struggle and might actually be blindsided by that. So thank you for highlighting on that aspect. So a lot of people see successful businesses and assume confidence comes first. But when you were starting, and I mean your Nigerian Tutors Konnect, what fears or doubts were you quietly battling behind the scenes? Because people see like, oh, Nigerian, she did it, she nailed it. But what were those fears that you were battling whilst building this?
So I think the one fear that I had was the assumption that because we're a Nigerian brand, we're going to fail. You know, when you're dealing with people and they know that you're from Nigeria, they're like, these ones, give them 1 or 2 more years. So I was constantly battling that. How do I ensure that I don't fall into that bucket? How do I elevate my team so that when they deal with parents, they say, these ones don't behave like a typical Nigerian. So
I'm a witness to that. I'm a witness. I told you, like, when they come like, hello, Mr. Nasaya, okay, all right then. Or we can have an assessment with you. I'm like, okay. So yes, you're very professional, and the follow-up as well. And you're very respectful, and they keep to the time. So they're like, even I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm driving, I can't talk now. Okay, it's okay, it's quite something. They're like, you're not going to give up. Okay, come at 7:20. That's what I'm trying to say. And they're, like I said, they genuinely care. And so I will say that they're very, very professional.
Thank you.
Kind of that customer service I struggle with, but that,
So it was a battle. And because when we started, you have a team, you have to elevate the team. And my entire admin team is in Nigeria. So which means we're managing ourselves all remotely. It's not easy, right? When you're in the office and you have, it's a lot easier for people to manage themselves. But when they are working remotely, they have to self-govern. So which means nobody is watching them, but they have to do what they need to do. So it was a struggle in the initial phase, trying to make sure that everybody was doing what they were supposed to do in such a way that they elevate the service that we provide our clients. So yeah.
How have you done that?
It's a lot of shouting and crying and pampering and petting. Nigeria has excellent people. You just have to find them. And then when you find them,
keep them.
You have to keep them. In fact, there was one of my staff, excellent girl. I'm not going to mention her name just in case she's watching. The day she told me she was resigning, I practically went to go and kneel down to beg. You cannot leave me, please. Because it's so difficult to find the right quality of people that will key into the vision of the organization. And so when you find them, you have to, keep them. And me, I'm big on training. I don't work with people that don't have the trainable spirit. If you're working with me, I want you to leave the organization in 5 years and say, wow, when I worked with this lady, I moved from this to this. So anyone that doesn't have the learning attitude, I can't work with you. So I want my staff to develop themselves. I want them to elevate themselves because it will benefit the company, but ultimately it will benefit them. So that is a major struggle, trying to keep everybody aligned and working towards the vision is a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Thank you very much. But there's something you said that clicks in my head. Training.
Yeah.
So it's not just having an expectation. For you to train, there's a standard you're holding people to. And you're not only holding them to that standard and expect them to just turn up and do it, you're actually equipping them to do it. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short. You're like, oh, I've employed you, I want you to do blah, 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 blah. But then you're not giving them the skills, or you're not giving them the resources to do it. So once you start, and I guess that's what I was seeing with when two people called me from your company, they're all giving me the same level of service because training. So if an entrepreneur out there and you're employed, whether it's your VA across the sea or on Fiverr, I think what I'm hearing is you need to train people in the way you want them to actually operate or run your business.
By the way, I was trained. When I worked in GTB, I had fantastic bosses. They equipped me, they trained me, they elevated me. So that's my training. Yes, that's my training. It would be unfair for me not to be able to do that for other people. So I'm a huge beneficiary of being selected and said, I'm going to train this girl, she's going to go places. If I didn't have the right training, because I always refer to GTB as my core training, right? Yeah. So if I didn't have that type of training, I won't be where I am today. So I fully believe as employers, you have to train your people and you have to equip them so that they can deliver the mission that you've set for yourselves.
Train. Don't hold money. If you can't do it yourself, employ someone to train. If you can, the AI now, you can even train, using AI and then just being online to find out. So how has motherhood, because I'm smiling because we were talking about kids earlier. So how has motherhood shaped the way you lead, build, and make decisions as a businesswoman?
I think it's because my kids are watching me.
So you're like leading by example.
Yes, I'm like, they're always watching me and they have such high expectations of their mom. And because I have very high standards and my kids know that. I feel sorry for them because when you're an educator, hey, my mom was an educator. So you know what, as in I cannot be middle, I can't be, you're not third. You have not passed if you are not first or second. So let's just say I've carried that to my children as well because I want them to be excellent too. And this is, whether we are wrong or right, this is the color of our skin. We have to do a lot more, right? We have to do a lot more to be seen, to be heard. And so they can't afford to lag behind. So I always keep drumming it into their heads to say, hey, you have to do better. You have to be better. You have to shine. You have to lead, because this world is full of people that are always trying to pull you down. So I would say motherhood for me, because my kids have expectations of me, I am trying not to fail, and they know me. Like when I'm in my mood, I can work for 17 hours. So when I enter their room and they are sleeping, hey, they will just get up, and I'm like, you people cannot be sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. So let's just say I've passed on the gene of hard work to them, because it was passed on to me too. My parents are not lazy, so it will be difficult for me to just see my kids just wallowing. So let's just say motherhood has taught me that this gene of excellence must be passed down, so you must collect it by force. It's not for only me. It's not.
Okay, so for someone watching and thinking, okay, she's talking about excellence and how she's passed on to Jane, what would you say? Can you give like 1 or 2 tips of what you would do on a normal day? So I know you said them about maybe just sleeping. Well, that's a bit like something like specific, like what would you do like in this current day and time?
Yes, in this current day.
Not the way our parents did it.
In this current day and age, involve your kids in what you're doing.
Okay.
One thing I know for sure is the way the world is going, we all can't rely on, oh, I went to school, I need a job. All our kids need to know, they need to have skills that they can use. Right? If it's makeup skill, perfect it. If it is hair, go and learn it. You must have something that your fingers can do, right? Because otherwise, you're going to be in the job market looking for something, you may not find it, and then what happens next? So what I would say, and this is what I practice, when I'm doing things and I'm working, I involve my kids. My daughter is a content creator for Naijatutors. Not
She's
because
doing a fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you.
The other day I was asking, remember I was saying, how is doing your content? And we chatted briefly.
Yes. So she does content. It's not because I really want her to be, it's because I need her to be involved. And sometimes by being involved, they are not being forced. So in 10, 15, 20 years, she would say, oh, I learned the skill. She does voiceovers for other companies just because she did voiceover for Niger Tutors. So my theory is, let's not force anyone, but at a young age, we can all involve our kids in what we're doing. They would enjoy it. So it's not forced. Because some of the challenges with this our new generation kids, that when you say come and do, oh, they've come again. No. We don't want that. We want it. We want them to love what they're doing, and the easiest way is to catch them young.
And do you reward them? Do you do that, or I'll pay you if you?
Sometimes I do. I will not lie. Sometimes I do that.
Yeah, but that's also like an incentive for them, right?
Yes. Actually, when my daughter got to the UK, she was 13. I actually got her a work permit from the council so she can do work. So when she's talking to her friend, she's like, oh, I have a work permit. Like, she's so proud of the work permit. Okay, madam, you have work permits, come and work. Then she works. And then she gets paid. So sometimes when she wants to buy things, she'll say, oh, mom, I'm trying to aim for an iPhone 16. I'm going to do 10 scripts for you, and then would you give me the balance? So she's already calculating that she can earn money, but I'll give her some. But I'm not going to subscribe to everything you want. No, I don't subscribe to that kind of parenting. If you want to earn money, you want to enjoy the things of this world, you better be able to work too. So I involve them, make sure that they are doing the work. Sometimes they do it for free. Sometimes I pay them for it.
And it's also financial literacy, isn't it? Because you become more responsible, more aware of how their finances is being run. Or like some people like us, like we had, I think until we got out of uni, I had to maybe be by yourself. You do your masters and find yourself in the foreign land. You're like, okay,
what can I do?
Daddy, sending money or not sending money? What's the next thing you do? Yes. So good one. I do subscribe to that one, and I do the same with my daughter as well.
Good.
So was there ever a moment you considered playing it safe instead of building something ambitious? What made you choose this path anyway, and what helped you keep going? So was there a part you're like, oh, this is so difficult, this Nigeria, okay, maybe I just do something else. Maybe I don't do teaching. Maybe I just do something else. Or you never wavered. You're like,
no, I mean, there's been times my husband can testify when I'm, screaming, pulling my hair. We've disappointed a parent. The person has pulled out, and I'm trying to beg. I'm so sorry. We will do better. Then I have
the joy of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So I had those in the first few years where I was practically responsible for bringing in the clients, retaining them, and then bringing them back when they say they're not doing it again. Because as a growing company, you will make mistakes. You're learning as you grow, and we made those types of mistakes. But I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard, but I for some reason, I just never thought. Maybe when I hear some of my friends that have businesses say, I'm not doing it again, I say, like you must do. We must all do. So the truth is, I did not, and I can tell you that it's because it was something that I was passionate about. That's how I knew that passion is very important, because there are so many times that you would want to give up. If you don't enjoy it, you will give up. You will give up because they're like, well, you will. So the thing that was foiling me, I would say, I loved it. And every time a parent tells me, oh, my child couldn't read, my child can now read. So I used to crave for those positive feedbacks to say, okay, I'm doing something right. Like, because we're education, we don't have offices, we don't have any of those things. It's difficult for people to say, that's them. Education is intangible, so it's about impact. So a lot of people don't sell those types of things. Like, a lot of vendors won't say, give them an award, they have impact.
Well, you have a lot of awards, girl. She has about 25.
No, it's not that bad.
Well, you had the best online business like 3 years consecutively.
Yes. So no, but the point is, we have to, it's not that easy because you're not seen. You don't have an office, you don't have a front.
I know what you mean. It's like when you're in a service business.
I am in a service business. It's a lot harder to quantify. It's a lot harder to quantify. So I used to crave for those moments where the parent says, oh, I'm so excited. Or when I get feedback from on WhatsApp, I'm circulative with everybody, everybody on the team, everybody will be excited. And sometimes Nigerians, we can be a bit stingy with providing positive feedback. When it's bad, we would hear it. Yes. But when it's something positive, we're not very generous. So when we do get those positive feedbacks, it's always so encouraging. Then it gives me the fuel to go on to say, we're on the right path.
Yeah. And I'm just going to share this because, as you know, I'm also a business owner. At times when you get those negative ones, it depends on how it's being given. And if you're not a business owner and you're giving feedback, just try and be gracious about it. Because there are times that you get the feedback, almost like, why did I, almost like blaming yourself for actually even taking on the business and all that. And then you just have to realize that it's not about you, it's about the service.
Yeah.
And it's about how to improve the
not
service.
personal.
It's not personal, yes. And that took a lot of, for me, it took a lot of just separating that when it does happen. Because you're passionate about what you take it personal. You're like, oh, I feel this person. And then you have to realize that no, it's not you as a person. It's the service you provided and how can you improve on that service.
Okay, so when we get the negative feedback, I will gather my team. We'll start investigating what happened, root cause, SWOT analysis, like, is a big deal. Not because of the person that has complained only, because we may never get that person back. But it's really about the customers that are still with us and the ones yet to come. So we want to make sure that we've built a solid system that corrects those issues so that by the time the person is coming, we would never have to lose the client because of that same reason. So every time I see a negative feedback, I hold on to it because for me it's learning. So I don't make it's just that I agree. Some people can say it in a way that you pain you, but still we take the learnings from it and move on. Where we need to beg, we'll go and beg. And where we've lost the client, we just know that we're taking the learnings for others.
And then it goes with a saying I like to use a lot, which is there's no negative feedback. Feedback is a gift.
It is.
So because some people might actually excuse me, have the negative feedback in code, I don't give it to you at all and walk away with it, and then either you not even tell anyone.
Me, I even do it too. Like I don't want to talk too much. So
Yeah,
if I start talking, you start
it's okay,
explaining.
exactly.
I'll just give a reason,
Yeah.
a very simple reason that you will not think that there's anything that is wrong. So I actually agree. When we get it, it's actually a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift. So now that you're talking about improvement in terms of using that feedback into improving your processes and all that, is there anything that you're offering, or is there any service that you're offering that's come from you just improving yourself that you never thought was possible?
Okay, so in the past, sometimes when we're matching children with tutors, there were questions that we didn't used to ask because we felt it was sensitive, like does your child have any learning disability, for example? As a Nigerian parent, I feel...
God forbid.
Thank you. Thank you. So we were also careful not to ask the question. And then we got beaten very quickly because the child may have a learning disability and we haven't matched that child with the right tutor. So one thing that we started asking the right questions to make sure that when we do match, it's an excellent match. It was through that process that we started providing learning support to children with disabilities, learning disabilities,
wow.
Yes. Like teletherapy, I never thought it was even possible. Even to hold a child's attention for 1 hour is a struggle. But when the child now has other, needs additional support, we never even imagined that we could support online. And we've had incredible results from supporting children with learning disabilities. So that's one way, that's one thing that gives me the push to want to do more, because when you see that you can do that, because it's a struggle for some parents, they need that support.
A lot of parents
they do,
but not a lot of centers offer that. And even the schools, people feel, a lot of parents will tell you that they feel the school would do the barest minimum, more like just babysitting the kids. So when you're able to actually offer a child with learning disability or a neurodivergent child extra support at the same rates, with, I think that's an excellent service. And it just provides respite as well.
It's an excellent service, not because I'm the one selling it, but because people need help. And sometimes they don't even know who to talk to. Some of these our send tutors also give tips to the parents on what to do offline. So it's not just about supporting them while they're in class. It's also about, okay, we'll do this with them in the off time. They provide that additional support that they're not necessarily getting from school.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Well done, honestly, because this is very close to my heart, by the way. So
Oh,
when
really?
when I see that people get supported and people are intentional, not just doing it, because a lot of people tend to do it for the money, because anything that has to do with supporting kids with additional needs or neurodivergent children
with a price
comes with a
tag.
huge price tag.
Yeah.
So when you see people actually doing it just for the fact that they care and they
Yeah.
just want to make life easier for not only the child but also
We don't.
the
By
parent.
the way, we don't charge extra.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
I know, and that sounds
So
like
that your child
yeah.
has additional needs is not an additional ticket for us to add some dollars or some pounds. No, it's the same.
Naijatutors Konnect.
It's the place to be.
Anyway, so just it's been lovely speaking to you today.
Same
But
here.
I'm sure there are people that are watching like, oh, Naijatutor Konnect. And by the way, when I keep referring to moving to the UK is an online platform, so all over the world you can actually tap into it. So if someone is watching you and they've never accessed your service before, can you just tell the viewers what service your platform provides, how they can lean into it, how they can register, how they can know more about Naijatutors Konnect?
Okay, so this is my selling moment.
Shay?
Okay, so what we do is our kids are everywhere in the world. US, Canada, Dubai, Australia, that's one place, and I never thought we would go, but we're in Australia. And
Girl.
depending on the country that you are, you have different learning needs. For example, those of my friends in the UK, they are always doing exams.
11 plus.
11 plus, GCSE, A-levels. Their needs are slightly different because they are test prep. They want their kids to pass exams. Canada, for example, the needs are different. They don't do exams per se, but a lot of parents complain that the schools don't push them as they should. The learning requirements is different. You're looking for an institution to support your kids, to drive them, to motivate them, and get them to be better than they were before you brought them to us. So that's another example. In the US, it's a different story. So each country has its own peculiar needs. We're just here to understand what the parent needs, whether it's test prep, whether it's accelerates my grades, whether it's close learning gaps, whether it's need for learning support. We're just here to listen to what those things are and provide you with a tutor. So we have the experience. Our tutors are qualified across all British, US, Canadian curriculum. So it's very easy for us to say this tutor is a right fit. Now, some parents will come to us and say, oh, my child doesn't like to learn online, doesn't even like to interact with any tutor. We find what the child likes. We find a tutor that can provide. If it's football, the tutor will turn your mat into football stories for you. Ours is to understand what you need, tell us what challenges you have, and then we will provide the support. And where we can't, we will tell you we're not able to support at this time. We're not shy. Like we can't do everything. We can't reach everyone, and we can't solve all problems, right? But we've done this for a number of years. We have gotten better at it. We've mastered our art. We have teachers that have been with us for almost 5 years from the very day one. So we've mastered this and we're ready to support all families everywhere they are.
So one of the things I'm going to agree with you in is when I got my assessment, I told him when I got the call, one of the questions was, I'm from the UK and I want my kids to, so he's like, oh, would you be doing like the test? I said, yes, please, 11 plus test prep. And she was thinking, then she asked me, she's like, we're in Canada. I said, don't forget I'm in Canada. I want 11 plus test prep for my son because I feel I need him to be in that headspace. Even though we're not in England anymore, we're here now, but I want him to be in that headspace.
Oh, we have so many parents like that.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, okay, fine, we'll do that. Like, okay, thank you. And creative writing too.
The truth is, even though some parents have left the UK to come to Canada, they still want to hold on to
I'm
the
like
UK.
that. I'm sorry.
Yes. So we still want to make sure that we're still able to provide that type of learning support. We are just flexible. Anything you want, wherever you are, whatever time, all time zones, whether you're in Alberta, you are in New Brunswick, it doesn't matter. We're just here and our tutors work around the clock. So some tutors work in the morning, some tutors work in the evening. So you don't have to be worried about, hey, would your tutors be able? No, we are able.
You just come and find out.
Just come. So if you're trying to find out how to connect, just go to our website, naijatutorskonnect.com. Let me say it again, naijatutorskonnect.com. You will see the sign up button. Once you just submit a form, there will definitely be someone to reach out to you, understand your learning needs, and then match you with a tutor and you are on to the journey.
I'll put all the links below in the bio.
Thank you.
So one thing I wanted to say, and I want to applaud you for this, I think I kind of mentioned it earlier, is the fact that you said something about one of the things you had to kind of overcome is that rhetoric about Nigerians not being a bit tardy in terms of their delivery, which is not all Nigerian. I'm Nigerian, and we know that, but there's that little connotation about maybe not
Service.
doing in terms of service. But and the fact that you're using Nigerian tutors for me, and they're delivering excellent service. Like I said, I've experienced like with the customer service, them calling me trying to get me to book session for my kids and stuff. And they're delivering excellence. I think you're doing a fantastic job in that sense because honestly,
Thank you.
You're putting it positive light. Because someone can come in and go, oh, Nigerian, but not only Nigerians, but you're like, I'm owning it. I'm dealing with Nigerian tutors.
I'm owning it.
And they're delivering excellent service,
Yes.
and you're going to get value for your money.
Yeah.
And the testimonials are there.
Thank you. The
All right.
Nigerian teacher is a product.
Yeah. It's a product. I like that.
It's a product. We need to sell it to the world, right? So, I mean, Nigeria has its own challenges, but there's still some positive things about Nigeria. I mean, we were taught by Nigerian teachers, right? That's what gave us the resilience that we're in the marketplace. So there's a lot of positives dealing with the Nigerian teacher. I believe the Nigerian teacher is a product that we need to sell to the world. And I'm at the very forefront of doing that.
Well done, girl. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So thank you very much for coming to Toludialogues Banke. I'm very, very happy.
Thank you for having me. I've been looking. There's nothing as fantastic as being interviewed by someone that saw you when you were in your non-prime.
I know.
So I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you for coming.
And I'm so proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Our voices need to be heard. We need to tell as many stories as we can. We need to elevate the Nigerian story over and beyond what we're currently doing. I'm super proud that you were doing that.
Thank you very much. So anyone watching? So we're going to do our dance on Toludialogues. And are you ready?
Yeah.
So Toludialogues, we are here to inspire, empower, and elevate. Thank you. So it's next time on Toludialogues. We'll see you again. So follow us on YouTube, on Instagram to watch more episodes of Toludialogues, and follow Naijatutors Konnect. Okay, if you have a child that's in school and go all the way to high school, so it's not just elementary. Follow, like, and learn. So don't say no anything for you guys. Bye for now.